Prize fighting is a hard way to earn a living. That's why when a fighter finally starts seeing those extra zeros on their paychecks, they are quick to spend it on luxury items that they have been eyeing for a while. Here are some of the most stupidly expensive things that MMA fighters have spent their hard-earned money on. Supercars. Almost every fighter dreams of one day driving down the highway in their newly bought supercar, with a UFC title on the passenger seat, but not everyone gets to live this lavish daydream. But there are a few who have been successful in pulling it off. The first name that comes to mind is, of course, the notorious Conor McGregor. McGregor is far and wide the most financially successful MMA fighter of all time, and he has also spent his riches freely. His vast car collection includes a Rolls-Royce drophead coupe, Bentley Continental GT, BMW i8 McLaren 650S, Lamborghini Aventador, and Huracan Aveo, among other fun rides. So it is safe to say that McGregor has had his fair share of luxury cars. But he's not the only one. After defeating Robert Whittaker to unify the middleweight title, Israel Adesanya treated himself to a McLaren 720S Spider, worth as much as $315,000. He also owns an $80,000 Range Rover as well. But not to be outdone by his friend Adesanya, Kamaru Usman has also stepped up his car collection since becoming the UFC welterweight champion. The Nigerian Nightmare owns a Lamborghini Urus worth $200,000 and a $170,000 Rolls-Royce Ghost. So, the former champ can definitely be seen riding in style. Now, one name that belongs on here, that actually might surprise some of you, is the former lightweight king Khabib Nurmagomedov. Khabib has a $198,000 Ferrari California and a Mercedes SLS AMG as part of his car collection. But not to be outdone, Sean O'Malley might be the youngest fighter on the list like this, but he is quickly caught up with some of the biggest spenders in MMA. Currently, O'Malley owns a Tesla, a watermelon-colored Lambo, and another Lamborghini. Luxury watches. A nice watch has been considered a status symbol since the dawn of time pretty much. So it's not surprising that once MMA fighters start making some good money, you see them show up at press conferences rocking a brand new diamond watch. Canadian superstar George St. Pierre is someone who has spent an absurd amount of money on a shiny new watch. In his case, he has a Rolex Daytona in yellow gold on a leather strap. Now, a watch like that can cost as much as a very nice car. Not to be outdone, Anderson Silva has a specialty Hublot watch in his possession. This Hublot was custom made and has a spider symbol in the middle. And of course, when it comes to watches, it's hard not to talk about Conor McGregor's extensive watch collection. He has said in the past that after a big win, he rewards himself with a new watch, and Conor has won a lot both inside and outside the octagon. This is why he possesses Rolex Oyster Perpetual Cosmograph Daytona, Rolex Oyster Perpetual Day-Date 40, and Patek Philippe Nautilus, just to name a few. And of course, the heavyweight champ of the world deserves a mention here too. At the UFC 270 weigh-ins, Francis Ngannou was spotted wearing a $50,000 Jacob & Company timepiece. Now, if anyone is familiar with the backstory of the champ, you'll know that he deserves every bit of this luxury items. Yacht. Now, this category is really only revered for one individual, Conor McGregor. He is famous for owning a Lamborghini Technomar yacht. In fact, McGregor is the most famous owner of this Lambo yacht, which many didn't even know existed before Conor posted about it on Instagram. The yacht is only one of 63 in the world and costs a whopping $3 million. Now that seems to be a nice gift to himself after McGregor successfully sold his Proper 10 whiskey shares. The yacht is 63 feet long and is known as the supercar of the sea. Jewelry. Fighters have always enjoyed looking good. They come decked out in designer clothes and shoes, but one thing that always stands out is a shiny necklace or ring. Israel Adesanya knows a thing or two about this, as he often comes to fight week with over $200,000 worth of jewelry on him. One of his most expensive pieces is his necklace, which is custom made by famed jeweler Ben Baller. This piece alone costs $60,000, along with $13,000 diamond ring and matching earring. another $30,000 chain, and then of course, who can forget Stylebenders' $5,000 pearls that he always rocks so well. Property portfolio. Fighters aren't all about spending lavishly on designer items and jewelry. A few have made some sound investments in properties which they hope will yield a greater return somewhere down the road. Especially Israel Adesanya. Over the past year or so, Adesanya has invested in more than 20 properties throughout Auckland. In just a short succession, Adesanya has set himself up as a real estate mogul, which might end up being far more lucrative than his fighting career. And speaking of fighting, Donald Cerrone is another fighter that comes to mind when we're talking about fighter property. He famously built the BMF Ranch in New Mexico with his hard-earned paychecks. And living up to his nickname Cowboy, Cerrone spends his training camps at the BMF Ranch, which is decked out with everything that you would need to get ready for a fight. In fact, Cerrone has invested thousands in the upkeep of the ranch. George St. Pierre took a different route than his old training partner Cowboy. Instead of living out on a farmland, GSP sought out a more comfortable spot in Montreal, where he spent a cool $4 million on a gigantic mansion for himself. It's only right that the welterweight king has a kingly home. And speaking of kingly, Conor McGregor is always in competition when it comes to spending big. McGregor owns multiple mansions, with one of his Las Vegas mansions going for sale on the market for a price of $2,995,000 just 3 years ago. Conor also bought a mansion in Dublin, which he named the Mac Mansion. The mansion cost him €2 million and has 5 bedrooms, a living room, a dining room, 6 bathrooms, a kitchen, and a game room. There's also a huge lawn outside the mansion, and horse riding facilities are also available. The Notorious One also enjoys his holiday time in his villa in Marbella, Spain. He spent $1.3 million acquiring this villa, which is only a few doors away from Cristiano Ronaldo's own villa. Bonus figures. Now, when we talk about the rich lifestyle of MMA fighters, it is almost impossible not to slip in 2 of the richest individuals in the fighting world. They might not be actual fighters, but both Dana White and Joe Rogan are known to spend a pretty penny or two freely. Dana has an extensive art collection in his office worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. One in particular is this Yakuza painting that is worth $1.2 million. And that is not even the most unique thing in Dana's collection. In fact, Dana has a saber-tooth tiger skull on display in his office. He considers it his prized possession, and it cost him over $160,000. While Joe Rogan isn't too far behind Dana when it comes to owning insanely expensive and unique items, he owns a 911 GT3 RS worth $300,000 and a 1965 Chevy Stingray. Plus, he has multiple sensory deprivation tanks and a fully functional gym where he can practice BJJ, lift weights, and even practice archery. So the world of MMA seems to be full of unique individuals with even more unique tastes. Some prefer their supercars and mansions, while others would rather get an RV and relax on a ranch. But whatever your itch is, there seems to be plenty of opportunity to scratch it if you play your cards right. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell beside it so that you're notified the next time we upload a new video. And with that being said, you just watched us break down some of the most stupidly expensive things MMA fighters own. We'll see you next time.